Hello everyone. So recently I have this thought about something that is kinda lacking in MLP G5. Well, okay, there are many things that people say are lacking in G5, but today's topic is, it's kinda lacking with mythological elements. In case you don't know, I am a big fan of prehistory, human history, and mythology. And when getting more into mythology and rewatching MLP again, I'm surprised how many elements were used from mythology and history in Friendship is Magic. From creatures to architecture and more, using mythologies from countries and cultures like
Ancient Greek, Norse, North American, Aztec, Asian, other European cultures, Middle Eastern, Egyptian, and even Australian. Mythological and historical elements can help sometimes to make the story interesting, and can also help a lot for the world building. And yeah, it also just fits for the setting. It is a world full of fantasy and magic, and since Pegasi and unicorns themselves are mythological as well. And so far from the world building of G5 in its first year after the movie, I wasn't really that impressed. Well, okay, let me be more positive. In the movie, the things we did get are very interesting, and I do want to know more about its history and such, and what else there is in this world. There even are some historical and mythological elements used for some of the things, like some architecture and some parts of clothing. Still, after the movie, it kinda starts to lack more of it now. Like, we got so much mythological and historical elements in G4 in its first season alone. Here's like a small list of mythological elements what I can think of from MLP Season 1. Two godly beings moving the sun and moon, golden apple tree reference, minotaurs, cockatrice, sea serpent, manticore, giant dragons, phoenix, artificial wings, hydra, and griffins. That's what I can think of so far without watching the show. And remember, this is all from the first season alone. Would be unfair for me to compare G5 with the entirety of G4. So I'm just comparing G5's entirety from its second year to G4's first season. Of course, G5 doesn't always have to be like G4. People have already talked about this, and I respect it to be its own thing. Still, even if we judge it as something on its own, at least for world building, again, I'm not really that impressed of what we got so far. Like, I found it really cool that G4 is using so many mythological elements, and after a world full of mythological creatures and such, we now have little cute animals with horns and wings. Like, is that the best they can think of? Like, they are cute, but still. Like, what comes next? A winged pig? Well, what am I kidding? That would be the closest to a mythical creature besides a dragon. Well, there was a horned rabbit bunny, but I doubt it was intentionally mythical. Would be cool if it was. I'm not trying to be too hard on G5, since it is its first year, and I still enjoy it. So I am still giving it a chance for its first season and hopefully its second season, if they add more elements into it like from mythology. Like I said, mythology is very fascinating and I want to see more of it in G5. Like, there is so much potential. They could bring back some mythical creatures from G4, like those that didn't have much screen time, or even add new ones. And like they did with some characters in G4, they could also even add actual characters from mythology, like Quetzalcoatl, Tangrisnir and Tangjoster, aka the Goats of Thor, Mares of Diomedes, Hippolectron, Wind Horses, Amit, Fenrir, Skirl and Hati, Kelpie, and possibly one of my newest favorite mythical horses, Sleipnir, the 8-legged horse. As you see, there is a lot of potential there, and since it's canon to G4, it would make more sense to add more mythical creatures than making up your own, except if they are somewhat inventive. If you want a new wolf animal that isn't a timber wolf, don't just have a wolf with horns and wings and call it a pegawolf. Have vargs like Fenrir the giant wolf, or Pterolycus, which is an actual winged wolf from mythology. If you want winged and horned animals that are in actual mythology, look no further.
Want to explain more about the sun and moon in G5? Maybe add Helios and Selene's horses, or Skirl and Hati, two wolves of Norse mythology who chased and ate the sun and moon, which started Ragnarok. Well, okay, it kinda sounds a bit off place a bit, but could work. Want to have new weird pony creatures no one has seen before? Have Hippocampus, the Kelpie, a reimagined mares of Diomedes, carnivorous horses who can also breathe fire in some stories, wind horses from Mongolia, and like I mentioned before, Sleipnir, an 8-legged horse with super strength and insane speed. Like, what would it add to the story? What would it add to the world building itself? Like, I see so much potential for the show, and I hope they can take more of that advice. Still, I am interested what else G5 has on their own, as long as it's inventive and well done. Mythology is a very interesting subject, and it helps to flesh out the world itself and the stories. And it is personally an important element in the MLP shows, not just G4. Again, I don't want to go hard on G5, I just want to help and spread more ideas that can work. I will possibly do more mythology related videos in the future, and if you have any ideas yourself, tell me in the comments. So that's it for the video, like and subscribe, and see y'all next time. Auf Wiedersehen.